Making Your Way with Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee on KUHS Radio TV Denver.
Oh yes, oh yes. Welcome to Making a Way. It's hump day. Woo, and we all feeling a little humped over here. Welcome everyone to the show. How's everybody feeling out there? Oh yes, today it's November 9th, 2016. And I have to start the show like this.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and the guests alone and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the management of KUHSdenver.com.
All right, I have to play that disclaimer because today is going to be a very opinionated show, I do believe. The topic today is good old US of A, and as many of you know around the world, and I'm sure are tuning in, yesterday, this morning, we woke up to a new president. Will actually take office. He is President-elect Donald Trump. And he will take office in January. But right now, I think we're all in shock. I think people are happy, but I think everyone I know is in shock. And I'm sure that people I know Republicans as well. But anyway, we've got an interesting show today. I've got on the air, as always, my Pinterest pal, my friend of 40 years, Miss Lisa McGrew. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, how you doing today, Sheryl?
Oh, good. Hey, like I said, we're all in shock. Also in the building, my sister, I call her, my dear friend. She is like my big sister, really. She is entertainer, vocalist, community activist, Hazel Miller in the house.
How y'all doing out there?
All right. Yes. So today's going to be a great show. First of all, we're going to start off here. We're going to talk about our thoughts on the election, and then when we come back a little bit later, we're going to pay homage, do a salute to President Barack Obama, and talk about his 8-year legacy, and just what it meant to us and what it meant to our country. And then a little bit later, tomorrow is Veterans Day. So tomorrow we will be, we'll talk about some support. Ways that we can get some help and some aid to those veterans and show them some love. So anyway, world, welcome. I'm looking here. Are you all in shock with us? I know it's different times of the day everywhere, but I'm looking at the ticker here. I see Netherlands, Canada, Nigeria, Germany, Greece, Turkey, Brazil, Hong Kong. You all are tuning in because you are like, what the F? I know that's how I felt. And I called my dear friend early this morning, Lisa, and I mean, she was just in tears. She didn't even want to I couldn't even, if I even mentioned to her that it was a possibility that Donald Trump could be our president, she didn't want to hear it. But how are you feeling this morning, Lisa?
Pretty lousy. Shock. Afraid.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's not the clearest connection. I don't know what that is. But anyway, I know it's on this end. So just keep talking, honey. What are your thoughts? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I'm incredibly disappointed and, quite frankly, shamed by the path that we're on and the president that was chosen to replace Barack Obama. I actually can't believe it.
Yeah, I know.
So,
well,
I realize that.
Go ahead, Lisa.
I was going to say, I realize that especially white working class Americans that have felt disaffected from our system really wanted change. Understandably so, and yet, even though 2/3 of the country feel that Donald Trump would be qualified to be our president, they wanted change so badly that they went ahead and elected him, despite their fears that he's not qualified. And that's a scary prospect to me.
Yeah. I mean, because this is a man who said, I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street and I would still win. And he was right. It didn't matter what came out about him. He's about to go on trial for child rape. It didn't matter what was said about this man, how it came. There were people who were willing to, make concessions for it and make excuses for it. I want to bring Hazel in here right now. Hazel and I we have a really fun video online. We actually went in and voted together yesterday. We are neighbors, and we walked over there and we voted. And I can tell you right now, we were the only African Americans in the room.
We got a few funny stares.
I think people were just, we were the only African Americans. So, but we felt proud because we felt like we were doing it for our ancestors.
Well, too many people have died. Too many people have sacrificed too much, so that women first given the vote in the 20s, and then in the 60s and the 50s we marched, we died, water cannons, dogs, police with billy clubs, shot, strung up for the right to vote. Not to vote is a slap in the face to all those people who sacrificed so much. And we went over, Sheryl had her video going on her phone, and we made our little statement, and she put it online, and I'm proud of it. Proud to vote. I'm an American. I live in the greatest country in the world, but I'm sad. I'm afraid. I'm worried, but I'm willing to do all I can to keep America safe and great for my grandchildren and their children.
Right. And, the thing is, it's like you hear a lot of people saying if Donald Trump won, I'm leaving the country. Guess what? I'm not going anywhere. This is something, and I said this to Lisa, and I said it also to Hazel. Our show is called Making a Way. The whole crux of this show is that we are teaching people how to enhance their lives for little or no money. So I feel like right now we are needed. This show is needed more than ever. Yep. You know what I mean? Because, Mr. Trump has said that he will repeal the Affordable Care Act right away. So that means that anyone who had insurance, the 20 million people who got insurance who were not eligible or could not afford it before are now back out. People with pre-existing conditions. I will never understand how people with pre-existing conditions could vote against the Democratic Party and the Affordable Care Act, because now these people, again, will need us more than ever, because what we talk about on, if you go to our Pinterest page on Pinterest.com, we promote natural health care. We understand and applaud Western medicine, but at the same time, I am a person, I chose not to get insurance. And this year I'll pay $622 fee for not getting insurance. But you know what? For me, as a healthy person, I didn't want to be forced to get insurance. And also, I felt like the Affordable Care Act was bastardized by the Republicans. They never allowed it to be what it was supposed to be. They chipped away at it. They put up guards against it. They made it so hard for people to get this insurance that I felt like, as a healthy person, and also as the bargain queen, let me just put that out there. I know how to take care of myself. When I'm sick, I know what to do. I prefer to go and pay $125, $150 for a visit, as opposed to having $600 paying every month on insurance, and you still have to go through all the bullshit, because that never went away. The insurance company bullshit never went away. I'm going to bring Hazel on right now, can tell you right now, what she has to go through in order to even get an MRI. And you've got your insurance company who's saying, well, no, you can't do this, or you have to go to your primary first. It's it's just a crop of crap. And here we voted against the single pay care system here in America. I don't know what to tell you, because most of the countries that I'm looking at here, you offer insurance to your citizens. I'm looking here, Canada, right now, just the name. I said the Netherlands, Germany, Greece, Brazil. These countries, they offer insurance and medical care to their citizens. We don't here. And Donald Trump has been very clear about the fact that his plan is you pay for your own insurance. Dip into your savings. Americans should not have to pay for your care. I tell you, it's a scary thing. Just walked in right now, and I'm going to let Hazel have her say, but I did want to introduce, just walked in the studio is our guest, Pat Duncan, who has the photography book. She's the author of the book, A Defining Moment, and it has been a wonderful thing, and we are going to talk about that in our next segment. But right now, we're just talking about how we're feeling this morning about the fact that Donald Trump will be the president of the United States for the next 4 years. What did you want to say, Hazel?
Well, I'm one of those people with a pre-existing condition. So when the Affordable Care Act passed, I was praising God. Unfortunately, the insurance companies and a Republican-led Congress and House of Representatives changed the bill so much that the benefits weren't really fully felt by people like me. I'm a diabetic and I have high blood pressure. I've had high blood pressure most of my life and diabetes more than 15 years. So to get insurance, it really was so expensive and so confusing that I chose a plan that I thought would work, only to find out that not only would it not work for me, they blocked me every turn in the road. And so now I really have to start all over again and figure all this out one more time. And I'm not happy about it, but I am an American. And every time I leave this country to travel, I'm grateful and happy that I'm an American. But I'm not real grateful and happy about so many people who hold our fates in their hands, and they are so few, and we are so many.
Yes, indeed. Pat, let me hear your thoughts on what you woke up to this morning.
And thank you so much for having me, Sheryl. That was the reason that I was late, is that I didn't go to bed this morning until 4:30.
Bless your heart.
And so I covering my last election as a photographer, it's hard to put in words, but this is what I told a reporter, and this is how I honestly feel, is that, one, that Hillary Clinton did not court the African-American vote. She just assumed. And this is where assuming and expectations can get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you can't expect things, is when you assume. That's one. But the biggest thing is Donald Trump was the white hope. He gave the poor white man a voice that he's not going to do anything about, but he gave him a voice of hope. And so now he's in. Is he going to do anything for him now?
No.
Well, it'll be you know what? It'll be interesting to see exactly what happens, because not only was it the white vote, it was the disenfranchised vote. There were people who voted against the system and voted against having a career politician, but those same people put the same people back into the Senate, back into the Congress. I just don't get it. But there was a disenfranchised voice, and I listened to the twice today. I listened to Donald Trump's acceptance speech, and he did touch on the people who are feeling left out. And I'm going to tell you something right now. That is the only thing that appealed to me about Donald Trump, was that he was talking to those people who are living under the system, that don't have the bank accounts, that don't have, that are depending on the whatever the industry is for their town, and those industries are gone. The people who are living in poverty, he spoke to them specifically and said, I'm going to get you work. I'm going to put you back to work. We're going to get these jobs back here in America. In the meantime, while every one of his industries is shipped out internationally, but he's going to bring the jobs back, which we'll see. All of this will, right now, it's going to be, really, is this really going to happen? We'll have to wait and see. He said today in his acceptance speech, he talked about the veterans. We'll talk about that later. He did mention the veterans. So I was pleased, because I've got to be a voice of of reason here on the show. I was pleased that his concession speak was inclusive, because he could have got up there talking the same bull he's been talking, but at least he was saying, I want to be the president for all. But he was very clear when he said citizens. So therefore, if you are not a citizen of these United States, you're in trouble. He was very clear about that. He wants to be the voice for all the citizens. So, what happens with the people who are, Muslim, or the people, even the people that are here for clemency or not clemency, you know what I'm trying to say, the Syrians, the refugees and the different people who were just like us, had a town, had a city, had services, and now where were they meant to go? Where were they meant to go when their towns and their homes are bombed? I just don't get it. But Lisa, let me pull you back in here. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it appears that what's going to happen is Hillary Clinton is going to receive the popular vote. And for people around the world, it's probably pretty strange to have this situation in the United States where you can receive the most votes as the popular candidate and yet not win the presidency.
Right, because of the Electoral College, folks. For those of you that don't know, it is called the Electoral College. And even though Hillary Clinton had the popular vote, it's sad that it comes down to who can get 270 of the Electoral College votes. I mean, that's sad. This is the fourth time in the history of the United States that the Electoral College vote has beat out the popular vote. It happened also when Al Gore ran against George Bush II. Same thing happened, and it's sad because but this was the close race. This was a down to the wire, 53 million, 54 million to 54 million. I mean, these numbers were tight, but it's sickening because we have 320 million people in this country, but only a third of us voted. So all of you that are sitting at home right now, all of you people who didn't vote for religious reasons, all of you people that didn't vote because you were so mad at the system, now you got to deal with what we got. We get what we damn get.
And and Cheryl, and that is so true. And it's the sad point about it is that I looked at on TV today is that he did not have his wife up there with him. It was only men.
No. We just watched it up here. When he made his acceptance speech, she was up there. So were his daughters. And even your girl, Omarosa, was up there. Omarosa was
not beside him.
No, she wasn't beside him.
Not right beside him.
But you're right. His wife wasn't beside him. And also, if anybody noticed, he didn't even he was getting ready to leave the stage before he turned around and said, "And thanks, Mike Pence." Oh, that's not a love relationship right there. There's something going on. Now, this cheering right here, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will be talking about our presidents. Yeah, we're going to change the mood up in here. We're going to talk about our president, President Barack Obama. 8 years, what this legacy was, what he did for our country. This cheer is for our president. Yeah, Hazel, you got any last-minute thoughts?
I think Mr. Obama's probably the classiest act in the world. And what a wonderful human being to put up with what he put up with for 8 years. The open hatred and the open exclusion. It's amazing.
You know what? He had more death threats than any other president in the history of this nation. This man literally lived his day under a cloud of hate. You damn Skippy. Class act. Okay?
Act. And look at his hair. It's snow white. Bless his heart.
Yeah, I guess 8 years will do that.
I saw a bumper sticker. I live in Arvada, and it said, "Put white back in the White House." And I didn't know if I wanted to cry or be angry.
Yeah.
But I realized that that's what a lot of people think.
Well, listen, we're going to come back. We wanted to play a song. This is a song that was written by a woman named Sarah Bareilles and sung by Leslie Odom. And it says, the American Life asked songwriter Sarah to imagine the thoughts Barack Obama is not saying publicly about this election and Donald Trump. Now, this was recorded, of course, before the realization this morning that Donald Trump actually did win, but the song is stunning. When we come back, we'll be right back, and we will change the subject. We're going to talk about our great president, President Barack Obama.
We lower it back to the bass mode. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right.
Let's start with hope. I threw it in the middle like a skipping stone. The ripples won, son of a gun. Some would not have thought so, but I stand here, commander-in-chief, and I take that seriously. But along the way, a rogue ripple turned tidal wave. In reaction to what I tried to do, a rebirth of a nation's hatred. Red, white, and blue. There's black in there too. Seriously. One man rewriting the book on bad behavior. Maybe cheats the neighbors, feels he gets what they pay for. We can't pat him on the back and send him on through. No man's ignorance will ever be his virtue. Is this the best we can be? Seriously. Let's talk of fear and why I don't bring it in here. It's a dangerous word, spooks the herd, and we all bleed in the stampede. Fear makes a false friend indeed, and I take it seriously. Oh, hear me now, for the truth gets drowned out by a demigod flexing, a demigod flexing, sees history repeating. Angry, am I angry? You ask, am I angry? And I at a loss for words. After all we've done, every battle hard won, every hair gone gray, in the name of this place, in a history plagued with incredible mistakes. Still I pledge my allegiance to these united, divided states. Let's end with why. It's a question I wanna ask of us as a populace. Why not take our time, all the weight of this story seriously?
Yes, indeed. Seriously.
I'm in love with this song. I'm thrilled down to my shoes with this song.
Oh, yeah, and Hazel is a vocalist. She is the icon vocalist of Colorado, honey, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't mind saying that because I love her. But she turned me on to this song. She's like, you have got to hear this. I'm doing it. I'm adding it to my repertoire, and I believe that she will.
I have to.
We are shifting, but before we shift from this section, I just wanted to say this. I'm an American, and I went to my family reunion this year, and we had pages and pages of history for my great-grandmother's grandparents. And we were able to look back, and we helped build this great country. I'm not going anywhere, and I am definitely not going to be the one that says, this is not my president. I know people feel that way, but I feel like this is what they did to President Obama. It was classless. It was unpatriotic, and I'm just not going to be that person. We hope here at the show, Making a Way with Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee, we hope that this man does exactly what he said he's going to do, because if he does what he said he's going to do, it's going to change the lives of the demographic that we are targeted toward, which is the low income working class Americans living below the poverty line. This show, the name of the show is Making a Way. It's short for the Christian saying, God will make a way out of no way. That's what, and I wanted to end that by saying, I don't put my faith in man, period, point blank. I am definitely a believer. I am a believer that there is a God that created this great planet, and that's where I keep my focus on. And I went on here online just to find out how much Bible baggage was that said, do not trust man. I'm sitting here right now looking at least 30 places in the Bible. It's actually mentioned when it says trust God is actually mentioned 181 times in the Bible. But there are actual verses here, and you can go to openbible.info under topics, trust no man, and it will show you each one of the Bible verses that says basically, do not put your faith in man. So if you are truly a believer in God, then you know that we will survive whatever is coming our way. We are resilient people. We are strong people. We are survivors. That's how, and specifically speaking for the African American and the brown people of this world, where I can tell you, it doesn't matter where I go, every single country, there are people who look down on those who they deem lesser than, whether it's lesser than because of your tone, lesser than because of your sex. You know, you could go to a country like, where it's religion, the Catholics over the Protestants, or whatever. Every single country is dealing with racism and sexism and colorism, and it is a fact. So I'm staying right here in the country where I was born, where I'm dreaming, where my children and my grandchildren have been born, and I'm going to fight and make my voice heard like I did yesterday. And like my friend Hazel said, if you don't vote, please don't complain. I don't want to hear from you. Don't be on Facebook complaining about a damn thing. If you did not vote and you stayed home yesterday, November 8th, for whatever reasons, because of your social standing, whatever it was, religion, okay, you got a right. That's the beauty of this country. You have a choice. You have a choice. But don't complain if you made the choice not to put your foot in the pond. And that's just the way I feel about it. And anybody else, just to close out here on this whole thing?
You know what I say yesterday? I love to complain about politics, so you know I'm going to get my old so-and-so out and vote.
Yeah. And my thing is, if you don't be part of the process, you're not going to be part of the answer.
No, honey, say it now.
We will literally be, for the 200 million people that did not vote, you will literally be moved around like sheep. We all will be, but I'll tell you what, though. I know people are going to come to, this is my season. Now is my season, because all of those people who, you don't have insurance. Now, the stock market crashed last night. Everything, the numbers are going crazy. All of these people think they're so rich right now. Come back and see your girl, because my motto is sharing no cost to low cost ways to enhance the quality of your life. I know how to live on little or no money. Okay. So I'm not standing in fear, because I know how to take care of Sheryl. 35 years as a professional entertainer with this wishy-washy business, this music business, show business.
And wait a minute. Here's Pat, who put into play in an industry that had no black women, that had no voice in the black community. And how long has your magazine been going?
Oh, it's
she has a book.
I mean, your book is out, but you've been a voice in our community for how long?
Yeah,
she was a stewardess. You were in the industry. Talk about a little bit of what you've been through in this country.
So it's been pretty amazing, because I was a flight attendant in the 70s, and my last stint was in the Orient. So I went to Hong Kong, Seoul, Singapore, Guam, at the time when we weren't welcome.
Yes.
When black people weren't welcome. And it was just so funny because they would look at me and like, you have nails, look at your hair, because it was full and stuff. But I grew as a person because I realized we're not the same anywhere. And you have to learn how to live outside the box.
That's it.
And that's how I grew. That's how Pat Duncan grew, or at that time it was Pat Buckley, grew. And so then I came back, and my father always taught me knowledge is power. If you have the knowledge, there's so much you can do with it. So I started Kip News years ago. And it was about everything you could think of, because we need to have knowledge about everything. And so, once again, I've started that back up again. But when we talk about the book, I'll tell you about the journey.
Okay, well, we're getting ready to do that. Well, for those of you just tuning in, and I see we got folks tuning in from all over the world, and we're so grateful that you are spending your time with us right now. You're listening to Making a Way with Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee. We're here every Wednesday from 11 to noon. Hazel's laughing over there because she know I'm the queen, baby. I done earned this damn crown.
She has earned that crown. Trust me.
But before we go on, I have to play this one more time for my station, KUHSdenver.com.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and the guests alone and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the management of KUHSdenver.com.
All right. So now
I'm sorry.
we are back. No, it's all right. We are back, and we are just, Mr. Trump, you done got all the time you're going to get today. Because right now we're going to talk about what, to me, I am so grateful and thankful to have been alive and to have been a voting American, to have put Barack Hussein Obama Jr. in to the White House. I voted for him in 2008. I voted for him in 2012. I am very proud. I can tell you right now, I sang the national anthem for President Obama when he signed the economic stimulus bill in 2009. It was the largest bill ever signed in this country. And everybody who is complaining about this man has enjoyed the benefits of what he did when he signed that. I'm not saying he's perfect. No man is perfect. Understand that. I know that more than most. For people who don't know my past, I know that no man is perfect. But I'll tell you what he did for this country in the 8 years, I am proud to say that he is my president. He is my president until January 14th. I am proud of what he did for this country. I am sorry about the wars. I'm sorry that the United States, which we did not put ourselves into the war, it was the Republican Party who got us into all of these wars. He came into office with shit. He had to shine shit. Plain and simple. He has been fought. He has been the obstructionist, everything that this man has gone through in the 8 years, and he still accomplished so much. I am proud. I was in the Invesco field when he accepted the nomination for the Democratic Party that night. And the story, just very briefly, I was there working with a catering company. I called a friend because I had a private event space, and I had flown a friend of mine into Denver to cook for my parties. Of course, the parties were a bust. I never got anyone to come. That's another story. But since she was here, I called a friend who had a catering company, and she said, "Hey, listen, we need some help at the Invesco field tonight." We couldn't believe our luck that because of that, we were going to be in Invesco Field that night, this historic night. Well, we were working, and this guy from the ACLU kept telling us, "Come in here. You guys need to hear this." We're working. We got to go and get the food back to the different rooms. He was insistent. So he grabbed me and my friend Rhonda Lee, and he pulled us into the booth, into, what do they call those rooms in the stadium? The rooms, the private booths they have.
Oh, the suites.
The suites. He pulled us into the suite for the ACLU, and we got a chance to sit there and listen to the entire speech of who would become our president. This is when he accepted the nomination. Goosebumps I'm getting right now just thinking about being in that room, being in Invesco. I'm so grateful. I wish I could find that man, because he's like, "You guys cannot be working. No, you've got to hear this." He was a white man. We were two sisters hustling. working. I met Oprah Winfrey that night. Let me tell you something. That night was fantastic. I got a picture with Oprah, okay? It was just a fantastic night. But anyway, I have been on a high. When he had his inauguration, I had a party at my event space for MoveOn.org. I had people from every nationality come. It was a fantastic night. And in the room here tonight is a woman who wrote a book called A Defining Moment, Barack Obama, The Historic Journey to 1600 Pennsylvania Street. I'm so proud of my friend Pat. When she first started taking pictures, I was one of your first people said, come on, take my picture, girl. She did a headshot for me. But just take us on the journey of this book and what President Obama has meant to you. And then we'll bring you in, Hazel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the journey starts in 2006. I was a photographer for the Urban Spectrum, and my assignment was to go photograph Senator Barack Obama. And so I said, Barack Obama, who is that? And she said, just go do your work. So I go, and to my surprise, it is a black man. Okay, so I'm like, okay, take the pictures. And I said, I'm going to listen to this man. He had came out to campaign for Congressman Ed Perlmutter. And I said, I'm going to put my camera down, and I'm going to listen to what he had to say. And from that day, from the end of that speech, I said, if this man runs for President of the United States, I'm there. So I have been a Barack Obama supporter before he decided to run for President of the United States.
Okay.
And so that's how my journey started. And so I go, and I was fortunate to photograph for all the black newspapers. And he came to our state 12 times. 9 of them are in the book, not including the Democratic Convention. Mm-hmm. So we'll progress on, and I want you guys to hear, I was a procrastinator. I started projects and didn't get them finished. I had great ideas and never followed through. That's who Pat Duncan was. So it took me 2.5 years to finish the book. And in the process, I was started and ended and started and stopped and started and stopped and didn't have the money to get it printed, stopped again. I went through this for 2.5 years. Finally, one day, I got an investor. I got somebody to believe in my dream. This wasn't their dream.
Yeah.
This was my dream. And my mom died in the process, but not before I had the opportunity to say to her on August 15, 2010, Mama, I finished my part of the book, which was capturing all the pictures. And she said to me, Tricia, I knew one day that you would finish something in grand fashion. And I never looked back.
Okay.
And so the book came out in 2012.
Yay.
It was nominated for an NAACP Image Award. So I got investors to finish paying for the whole book. Didn't get an article written on me other than the Urban Spectrum. Didn't get any kind of pub, none of that. Maybe because it was 2 years behind, or 4 years behind. Nominated for an NAACP Image Award. I sold the book out in 2013, and my biggest accomplishment is my book sits on the shelf in the Library of Congress.
All right now.
So that once was Pat can now pat on the back and say, you know what? You can do anything in this world that you want to do. If you, as my sister Vicki Buckley would say, if you keep God first in your life, work hard, and always believe in you. So that Pat Duncan is now buried, and there is now a new Pat. Is now a new Pat
who has documented this great moment in American history.
And and the thing about the book is you don't have to go anywhere to get all of his speeches. So everything that had to do with Barack Obama becoming the first African American president is in the book.
I love it.
And so a lot of people don't understand the Electoral College. Where is it? It's in a defining moment.
Mm-hmm.
So years down the line, when people go back and want to hear his first inaugural speech, all they got to think about is a defining moment, because it was a defining moment in our country for 8 years.
In the world.
In the world. It really was. And people don't understand really, you know, and I think they do. Maybe I shouldn't say that. What a big deal it was for us. And not only, I can tell you right now, being in that room that night, it was just about change. It was about change. There were more Caucasians and there were minorities in that room. People were fired up for change. But people are so short-sighted because those same people can't see that this man had to accomplish all that with his hands tied behind his back, with his feet tied together. He was never clear to run this country. It was a fight the entire way. Don't you agree?
Oh, I mean, all you have to do is look at the bills that passed and the bills that were excluded and how they hurt Middle America, how they stepped on the dreams of Middle America, for everyone to realize that 1%ers were, like you said, they had his hands tied behind his back and his feet tied together, and they were ready to dump him in the river somewhere. But he stood up and he did all he could do for every American. The fact that I was able to get insurance proved to me that this man fought a battle. I'm talking the Battle of the Bulge battle, okay, to make this happen for Middle America. Anyone who's had a life-threatening disease, anyone who's had a child that is chronically ailing, you know and I know that this bill made it possible for them to go to the doctor of their choice.
And just look at all of the things that have happened under President Obama. You know, the advances for the LGBT community, the advances for women. He appointed. He took care of women. He took care of children. People love. I can tell you right now. I got a chance to meet him. Pat, did you meet him? Did you get a chance to meet him?
I have a chance, and then I got to go to the White House for his Christmas party.
Good for you.
Well, when I sang the national anthem, when you finished singing, they put you at the top of the receiving line. And so he's walking towards me. I'm telling you right now, people know I smile. My smile was 500 watt. And I was giving him eye contact. I was looking right in his eyes. And he's walking towards me, and he just fell out laughing. And he fell out laughing, and I fell out laughing. So this is how I met him. We were laughing when we actually shook hands and greeted each other that day. And I told him how proud I was that he was our president and the whole thing. But he's a charming person. He's a good person. But to a lot of people, they could only see his skin tone. And I'm telling you right now, I think that is the most unfortunate thing.
That's the unfortunate thing about America, that we've come this far, and yet we've only taken 1 or 2 steps away from the fear, away from the hatred. If you believed in him enough to vote for him, why didn't more of us back him up?
What do you think, Pat?
You know, there again, that's what I was talking about, that she didn't court us. And it came down to the end when it was actually too late. If you look at the polls, which I am curious to see, what the African American vote was. It was down.
I did pull it up. I did pull it up. Hold on, let me find it here. But also, you know, she was also running under the legacy of her husband, Bill Clinton. I think that people could not separate the two. I do. Yeah. I think a lot of people had a hard time separating her from Bill Clinton and the things that he voted on. And then, you know, as I said, I think the same as we were so sick of the Republicans by the time in 2008 came around. I think you know what I mean? I think it was the same way. The people who are against the Democrats were like, hey, enough. The Republicans need a chance. Now they've got their chance. Now we will see. Now we will see, and I'm so curious to go back and talk to the people who voted for Donald Trump to see if he is in fact going to be the president that he claims that he can be for our country.
And that's going to be the interesting piece, because he is not a politician. So once again,
is that a plus or a minus?
Well, I don't know.
Come on, anybody who has watched his his rhetoric, how can it be a plus? This man knows nothing about how this country is run, how the military works. He may know about business, but then you know what I mean. He knows how to work the business. He knows how to play it, how to avoid taxes.
Out of business.
He knows how to avoid taxes. He knows how to file bankruptcy when you get your back up against the wall, which of course leaves millions of people, small businesses, without the income that they deserve.
But these are the people who voted for him.
Exactly.
That's what I don't understand.
Exactly. And you know what the scary thing about it is, like, it changed the culture again. We've changed the culture again. First person that has never shown his tax returns.
Yeah.
First man to say what he said.
Continually. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. So what? Let's beat him out. He did not care what happened to the people who were against him.
Yeah, and
so
what he
now,
said about women.
Yeah.
I mean, they said the divorce rate is high because of the differences in the household, because of the women telling their husbands that they're not voting for Trump. And they're saying, you better.
It's definitely caused some dissension.
Definitely.
In marriages and different things. But people, you know what? I take my hat off to people who put the country before the party. People who actually voted, that could see. And again, if you are listening, and we've got listeners from all over the world, again, here right now I'm looking, Netherlands, Turkey, Hong Kong, Brazil. We have people that listen in from all over the world. And I do want to say right now, I'm a proud American, in spite of the fact, we got some crap going on here. There's no doubt about it. But we have also had people, our ancestors, our elders of every race, who have fought really hard to get us where we are. And so we're going to have to all come together, because in my mind, I keep thinking about the Terminator. I'm sorry, because all of those movies where it's the elite that lead to the destruction of our planet. The people who are so wealthy that they cannot see the forest for the trees. They don't care about what's going on with the little people. They don't care. We can hang up. He wants to privatize Social Security. He don't give a damn about national parks. He will sell that land off for fracking and everything else. This man totally does not believe in any climate change, knowing that we are putting all of these emissions and different things into the sky. We are affecting this planet, but we have a candidate here who is saying, no. Give these people, we need to be able to cut these trees down. Damn the Amazon if it's affecting the planet. These people need to be able to cut these trees. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah, the two I think that really bother me is, one is the terrorism piece. You think that they're bombing us now? It's scary. It's scary to think what they'll do. And two is the police and these guns. You think innocent black men are getting killed now? What is it going to be like under a Trump administration when a police officer has not to worry about if he shoots somebody? Because you know what happens is that he doesn't believe in unions. So therefore, he's going to get rid of the police union. The police union, matter of fact, endorsed Donald Trump.
Yes, they did, because they felt like they weren't getting the support. But I can tell you, I'm torn about this, because I know that the minute I get in trouble, I'm picking up the phone. I want the police at my door. I'm calling 911. But the thing is, I think a lot of it has to do too with this crowdfunding. I'm sorry. This is just my conspiracy theory on it. I think that police officers have a job to do. I think it's terrible that they are prejudged, because you do have police officers who are living up to the vows that they've taken and honoring it. But of course, it gives people who have a negative view or have ill will, it gives them legal permission to do what they're doing. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that now the police know that when they do something, if they get fired, hey, you got go fund me. We'll make you richer. You'll make more money with crowdfunding with these things than you did when you were actually serving on the force. I think that has a lot to do with the boldness of the shootings that's happening now. You know you're on camera. You know you're this, that, and the other. Why are they doing? They're emboldened because now with crowdfunding, they know that there are people out there who will support them regardless of what they do. We don't care if you shoot somebody of color. We don't care if and it doesn't even have to be people of color. You know, I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it's and this is the first time, once again, that we're not talking about religion. Think about it. That's what the Republican Party is known for, is conservatism and religion.
And Christianity.
And it's not happening with Donald Trump.
Well, you know, the forgive. Everybody's like, the Bible says forgive. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you know, I don't know. We said we weren't going to talk about Mr. Trump anymore. This is going to be about Obama. But, I've got to wrap this section up because I've got to spend at least 5 or 10 minutes here on some aid for our veterans because tomorrow is Veterans Day, a chance that we get a chance to honor these people, men and women who have, you know, who have signed on with the armed forces of these United States and what is happening when they come back. You know, Donald Trump did mention them in his acceptance speech. He did say that he's going to make it easier for the vets, and I am one person. I absolutely hope that is the truth.
But isn't Veterans?
Oh, that's right. Veterans Day is Friday. Thank you, Hazel. Yes, again, you're listening to Making a Way with Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee, and I've got Pat Duncan, author of A Defining Moment here, and Miss Hazel Miller's in the house. Before we had Lisa McGrew, my sidekick, my girl, my Pinterest pal. She left out of here. She's so upset. I mean, people are upset today, honey. We're all in shock. But I got to say, before I move on, it's also my big brother's birthday. Skippy D turns 55 today. He and I are 10 months are the same age. He's double nickels today. So shout out to my brother, Skippy D. Yes, indeed. And
the
again,
opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and the guests alone and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the management of KUHSdenver.com.
all right now. Okay, so yeah, well, hey, we're in shock. We all woke up today, and I say we all because I am African American and living in America, Democrat, and I think I do have some Republican friends, but I think I've unfollowed them all through this process. So if they were on Facebook cheering themselves, I can't see it because I've unfollowed you. Okay, hey, love ya, but I didn't want to hear what you had to say about this election, and I love that about the freedom of picking and choosing.
The ones that were really rude and nasty.
Yeah. I can't say. I think I unfollowed maybe 15, 20 people. Not unfriended. There were a couple I unfriended. It was like, oh, hell no. Because the bottom line is social media, you can be connected with somebody on social media, but would you really hang out with that person in real life? You know, and when it comes down to, you know what? You and I have nothing in common except this Facebook. See ya. I don't have any bad feelings about it.
Exactly. And that's what I stay away from, is religion and political conversations.
Well, because, it brings out the worst.
But can we give a shout out? Colorado, maybe 10% African American. We have 8, do you hear me? 8 blacks that are going to be in the Colorado legislation this year.
Really? All right, people showed up.
We need to give a shout out.
And that's fabulous. And then we got to remember that it wasn't only the black vote that got them there. These are great candidates and people who are able to see these candidates for who they are and what they bring to the table,
And that is the perfect answer, Sheryl, is that it just shows you that we vote for the person and not the party.
That's right. That's right.
But
well, listen.
Colorado is unique in that way.
Well, Colorado, we were blue. I'm proud of my home state. I am proud of Colorado because we voted blue. We were not one of the ones, honey. We were not one of the ones who are waking up this morning, doubly shocked that not only did Donald Trump win, but their state went red.
Well,
exactly. And if you think about it, everything west went blue, and is a very liberal state. Colorado, California, Washington, Oregon. They're all liberal states.
And can we just talk about the fact that we have 2 more states that Nevada and California, who now legalize recreational marijuana. So we're hoping that people who moved here will now go back home so that the fees can go down here. Hey, listen, I'm so excited. We voted here in Colorado. We can now have assisted suicide. I'm so happy because I'm telling you right now, they're not going to make me stay here paying all these thousands and thousands of dollars hooked up to machines and shit so that we can stay here. I want to have a choice of when I get out of here, and particularly now that we will not have insurance anymore after January. Affordable Care Act is gone. We already know it's gone. I'm proud of the state for voting for that. But listen, I got to get this in for these veterans. We got 5 minutes. Listen, tomorrow is Veterans Day. Friday. Girl, keep me honest here. Shoot. Okay. I wanted so much to talk about Beginner's Guide, how to get VA loans, how to get support wives. I had on here ready to talk about veteran assistance. Now, it's the mental thing, the PTSD, but I guess it was just too much. So anyway, I've got to direct you to our Pinterest page where you will find hundreds of articles and different things all talking about how to help vet. Go to Pinterest.com, look for Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee, and look for the board called Veteran Support. There, I do want to give one number at least. This is for Lifeline for Vets, vet-to-vet assistance. That number, if you know a veteran that is homeless, that is struggling with PTSD, that is struggling in any way, please write down this number. It's 888-777-4443. 888-777-4443, or go to nvf.org. There are programs set aside. There's yoga for vets that are helping vets with their physicality. There are pet programs for veterans. Oh, I wanted to touch on all of that. But you know what? This was an election. I need to do a whole show on veterans. And you know what? Maybe I'll do that next week because we have so much. My show is all about helping the underprivileged, I've been an entertainer for 35 years. I'm telling you, I dance around the poverty line. It's feast or famine, and that's the reality of it. And as I am 54 years old, and as I go forward, yes, I'm an entertainer, but God has put it on my heart to help His people. I want to help people. That is more important to me than singing. It is more important to me. That's why we have the show, Making a Way. That's why we have our Pinterest board it's got thousands of pins to help people. If you don't have insurance, how can you let your diet and what you're putting in your body help you to be healthier? We have so many fantastic boards. Again, on Pinterest.com, under Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee. Also, Frugal Happy. Lisa's is under Frugal Happy. Lisa McGrew, you can find her. She is my co-host. We put a lot of time and energy to make this board interactive so that we can help. But my goal for 2017 is to have a television show where I can do exactly what I'm doing here, is to share no-cost to low-cost ways to enhance your life. That includes thrift stores, pawn shops, garage sales, recycling. There are ways and programs here in America to help any and everybody, and we just want to bring those to the light. But before we go, I just have to thank these ladies for coming on. And again, my apologies for not having enough time to say and share everything I wanted to for the veterans. We appreciate you. We know that you're raised, and particularly for people who are religious, and then you join the military and you go to a country where you're forced to shoot and kill, and what it does to your psyche. And my grandfather, I'm in the state of Colorado because my grandfather was stationed at Lowry Air Force Base. That's how my family came here. So we have military people. I know Hazel.
My mother, my father, my oldest brother, my second brother, my second sister, and I've done 5 DOD tours.
Okay, and Pat?
And so for me, my father was in World War II. Yeah. So that what brought him here to Colorado.
Yes, so, Veterans Day, we don't take it lightly. I think it's one of the most important holidays that we have, just to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being man and woman enough, because I couldn't do it. Just the
Step
whole
up.
thing, to step up there, the way the military, the way they have to break you down.
Step up. Step up.
Step up.
Step up. So we thank you. To enjoy your day on tomorrow. Everybody, please do not keep your eyes focused on man. Look to the hills from where your help comes. Trust and believe. Take this faith walk. We will be okay under Donald Trump. Stay with this show, Making a Way with Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee. We're here every Wednesday. Our archive is on YouTube under Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee. You can hear any of our old shows. We have had some excellent guests, including today, Pat Duncan. Thank you so much. I hope we had a chance. Where can people find your book?
So once again, I got 1,000 books last August. I am down to 40 books.
Oh, wow.
So you can go to my website at www.adefinmoment.com.
Okay. And then, of course, if my girl Hazel Miller here, hazelmiller.biz.
Hazelmiller.biz.
That you can find Hazel, and I'm SherylRenee.com. Of course, I am an entertainer, and I am giving a free download of my CD, Salute to the Legends, right now for anybody who wants it. 12 songs of some of the greatest entertainers with my voice and a fantastic band. Yep. I recorded it in 2004, but to celebrate my 35 years in the business, I'm offering a free download from my website. Coming up here, we've got a Christmas show with Hazel coming up December 4th at Jazz at Jack's, and then I'll be joining her at the Soiled Dove
on December 22nd.
So Christmas time is just right around the corner, but of course we got to get through Thanksgiving. This is a month of giving for me. Thanksgiving is not about Columbus. It's not about any of that. It's about being grateful. Let's be grateful that we are alive. We all woke up today. We're not happy who we're under here in this country, but guess what? We're not getting ready to let this man run over us. We are empowered Americans. We won't let anyone run over us. So let's stand firm. Let's feel good about who we are, about what we've accomplished, and let's look past these 4 years. Because if we don't like what he does, hey, we got another chance to use our vote and be heard.
It's like the nuns used to say, keep him on task.
All right, y'all. That's Making a Way. No, I'm not singing this week. I'm like Billie Holiday when she was in jail, honey. I'm sorry. My spirit is broken. I tried to find a song to sing. I could not find a song to sing. It's like there's not a song in my heart today. I'm sad for our country, but you know what? I'm not scared for our country because I'm a faith walker, baby. 35 years of standing on faith, trusting that God would send work my way, people my way, love my way is going. We'll see you next week on Making a Way with Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee right here on KUHSdenver.com. Thanks again, ladies.